I had no idea what was in store for me that weekend. My husband, Daniel, had been acting a little mysterious for the past 2 weeks, sneaking glances at his phone, whispering during calls, and quickly changing the topic whenever I asked him what he was planning. We had been married for 6 years, living in Chicago, and though we both had busy jobs, he as a marketing executive and I as a school counselor, we always tried to carve out time for each other. Still, surprises weren't exactly his strong suit, so I was curious. "Pack light, but bring something nice to wear for dinner," he said on a Thursday evening as I was cooking. "For what?" I asked, raising an eyebrow. "You'll see," he replied with a grin that told me I wasn't getting any more information. By Friday morning, we were on a short flight heading to Miami. I hadn't been to Florida in years, and just the thought of palm trees and ocean air filled me with excitement. The moment we landed, Daniel grabbed my hand and guided me out of the airport to a rental car. I leaned back, watching the skyline grow as we got closer to the beach. It wasn't until we pulled up to a luxury resort overlooking the turquoise ocean that I realized this was no ordinary getaway. The hotel was modern, with glass walls that reflected the sunset, and staff greeted us with cool towels and tropical drinks. I was thrilled, but something else was waiting. As we stepped into the lobby, I heard a familiar voice call out, "Surprise." I turned around to see 3 of Daniel's closest friends from college: Michael, a cheerful lawyer from New York; Jason, a quiet but funny architect from Seattle; and Lauren, a travel blogger who always brought adventure wherever she went. My jaw dropped. "You invited them?" I asked, half shocked and half amused. Daniel laughed nervously. "I thought it'd be fun. It's been years since we've all been together." At first, I wasn't sure how I felt. This was supposed to be our romantic escape, and suddenly, it was a group vacation. But seeing the excitement on their faces and the way Daniel looked so proud of his plan, I decided to let go of my reservations. The first evening, we all went down to the beach for dinner. The restaurant had tables in the sand, lit by torches and soft string lights. The sound of waves filled the background as waiters served grilled seafood and tropical fruits. We laughed, told old stories, and even shared embarrassing college memories about Daniel. I loved seeing him light up with his friends in a way I hadn't seen in years. The next day was packed with activities. Lauren had a long list of things to do, and somehow she convinced us to join her early morning yoga session on the beach. I'll admit, I nearly gave up halfway through, but the sight of the sun rising over the ocean made it all worth it. After breakfast, Michael suggested renting jet skis. At first, I was terrified. I wasn't exactly the adventurous type, but with everyone cheering me on, I climbed behind Daniel and held on for dear life as we sped across the water. I couldn't stop laughing, partly out of joy and partly out of fear. But it was incredible. Later, Jason took us on a tour of the city's art district. He had an eye for design, and I never realized how much beauty was hidden in the streets of Miami: murals, small galleries, colorful cafes. It made me see the city in a whole new way. That evening, Daniel finally revealed the highlight of his surprise. He had booked a private boat tour for all of us. As we sailed out into the ocean, the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in orange and purple. Music played softly, and we sat together, sharing snacks and stories. At one point, Lauren leaned over and whispered to me, "You know, you have a great husband. Not many men would give up a couple's trip just to reconnect with old friends. He must really value them, and you, for being part of this." Her words stayed with me. She was right. This trip wasn't just about fun. It was about Daniel remembering who he was before life got so busy, and about me being part of that world too. On the third day, we split into smaller groups. Daniel and Michael went golfing, while I joined Lauren for a local cooking class. She was hilarious in the kitchen, accidentally spilling flour everywhere, laughing when she dropped ingredients. By the end, we had made a delicious seafood paella, and I realized I hadn't felt so carefree in a long time. That night, Daniel and I finally had some alone time. He took me to a rooftop overlooking the ocean, where lights twinkled in the distance. He looked at me with that same smile he had when he first told me to pack. "So, are you mad I invited them?" he asked softly. I thought for a moment, then shook my head. Honestly? At first, yes. But now, I think it was the best idea you've had in a long time. He laughed, pulling me close. I just wanted to give you an adventure. And maybe remind myself how lucky I am that you're part of my life. The rest of the trip went by in a blur of laughter, adventures, and heartfelt moments. By the time we returned home, my heart felt full. I realized vacations weren't always about getting away. It was about who you shared them with. Daniel's surprise taught me something. Love isn't just about romance. It's about friendship, shared experiences, and the joy of seeing each other truly happy. And in that sense, it was the best vacation I'd ever had.